everybody, it's Amanda, and I wanted to just let you know that this video that you're getting ready to watch is one that I actually filmed a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to put it out on a Friday, and then that was actually when the boys were coming into town and we were rushing to get everything ready for them, and then when it all came together, I ended up not getting everything finished before they came into town. And then I just put all of the videos aside until after their visit because I really just wanted to spend time with the guys and just enjoy them. And I was like, we'll come back to the videos later. So this video that you're about to see is one that I filmed a couple weeks ago, and it's about our bakeware. So I hope you enjoy it, and I have a couple more coming. So thank you for your patience. And now we're back to the Frugal Pantry every Friday. Enjoy! Hey everybody, it's Amanda, and today is the next video in our Frugal Pantry series, and this week we're talking about bakeware. I have all my bakeware back here, and you can see I actually have a tremendous amount. So I'm going to take them one by one and show them to you, and we'll talk a little bit about the bakeware that I have, how much I use it, where it's stored, and all of those things. So come along. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you are my bread pans, and I actually have my stack of bread pans right here. I used to have a glass one or a couple of glass ones, but I got rid of those because I didn't use them as often. So what I actually have are two metal bread pans, and then I have three Pampered Chef bread pans. These are Stoneware bread pans. So these pans right here are the ones that I use the most. You can tell this one on the bottom is the newest. But I've gotten them over time, probably mostly at thrift store. I did get one year for Christmas. The family got it for me. But and then these metal pans I also got at the thrift store. But these pans, of course, are for making breads, quick breads, and regular breads. And I tend to use, if you can't tell, these metal pans aren't used too often, but I tend to use the Stoneware most of the time because they're really easy to use and really easy to clean. I have a huge collection of Pampered Chef Stoneware. I've talked about it many times, but I'm showing you all the bakeware, and that's the bread pans. I have another stack of Stoneware that I'm going to show you, and at the top is my Stoneware fluted pan, okay, right here. Again, I don't use this too often. I mean, how often do people really use a fluted pan? I use it for like monkey bread, or occasionally I make some nice holiday cakes in here that I give away. But this is a beautiful pan. It's, again, really easy. I do have another metal fluted pan that I'll show you right here. But I don't tend to use this one, as this one is a non-stick. And it does work pretty well, but I mean, this is just so easy to clean. They're both not too bad. It just depends on how many cakes I'm making, so I have both. So I also have the Stoneware bowl. Now, this one I don't usually use for baking, but it is technically bakeware, so I'm going to show it to you. I usually use it when I need to like entertain and I need a pretty bowl for something. I just think this looks really pretty sitting on the table with a salad in it or something. But it can be used for bakeware. I've just never made a round cake like this, but people do use it. There's lots of great recipes on Pinterest, and I used to have 3 of these, and then I got rid of 2. So, Stoneware bowl. Oh, also at the thrift store. And I got my fluted pan from the thrift store as well. The Stoneware and the metal. Okay, so these are my round Pampered Chef Stoneware pans. And I use these a lot for making biscuits. If I'm just making like regular biscuits for the family, sometimes rolls. But these pans I use pretty much all the time. I mean, anytime you want to heat up anything, I'm using these. Chicken nuggets, tater tots, whatever. Normally I just grab a Pampered Chef pan of some kind, but these get used pretty frequently. I'm pretty sure I got almost all my Pampered Chef Stoneware at thrift stores. I bought a few of them new, but I'm pretty sure these came from thrift stores. Now we get to the granddaddy of the Stoneware, the pizza stones. I've got 4 of them, and you can see by the coloring, because Stoneware gets darker over time, which one is the newest one and which ones are the oldest ones. But the very first piece of Pampered Chef Stoneware that I bought was a pizza pan. I don't know which one it was. It was one of these. But so the first one I bought was a pizza stone, and it was so easy to cook on. Nothing ever burned. It was like 20 bucks at the time. This was probably 20 years ago at least. So I loved it so much, it started a huge journey for me. But Pampered Chef pizza pans, and you need 4 of them. Because our family, when we had all 6 guys here, you know, Marquise could easily eat a whole pizza. Brian could easily eat a whole pizza. Rick Sr. could easily eat a whole pizza. So Ricky usually didn't because he's gluten-free and he just didn't like it as much. But let me tell you something. We needed at least 4 pizza pans, and we use them. We use these a lot, and you can use them for cookies, any kind of baking that you can use on a flat surface. These pizza pans work. And I did buy the one straight from Pampered Chef, but I think I got the rest of them at thrift stores. Since I'm showing you my stoneware, I figure I'll show you my other stoneware. This is a small bar pan, and it's really tiny. It's smaller than a sheet of paper. And when I first saw it at the thrift store, I grabbed it because it was like $1 or something. I don't even remember, maybe $2. But I was like, I don't even know how much I'm going to use this. I use this all the time. I'm surprised at how often I use this. Because, you know, sometimes you don't need to use a whole pan to heat something up. Especially when I was eating vegan things that needed to be heated up. And I would just put a few on here for me. This was perfect. I use this small pan all the time. I actually probably could use a couple more. But it's beautiful and I love it. Small bar pan. Then we have our square baking pans, and I have 3 of these. And I do keep stacking these up. I do think that maybe one day when the kids move out, I might split some of my Pampered Chef collection off with them. But I use these square bakers all the time. Again, I might use them if I'm making biscuits. I might use them, I mean, anything. I've made shepherd's pie in these I make. There's so many things. These are so versatile because they have the high edge. You can definitely make a cake in it and do like multiple layers. So I just love them. I just love them. You know, you can tell just how much I have. I have a tremendous amount. All right, now for the big guns. I have this oval baking pan, and it's again really pretty when you have an event to take. This is what I bake rolls in. If you look on my Instagram, you can see the rolls that I make, and I make rolls in here, and I make rolls in this one as well. These are both newish to my collection. Again, you can tell by the coloring. Again, both came from thrift stores. Keep an eye out at your thrift stores, guys. I'm not even kidding you. But these are beautiful, and I love them. So this next one is a cookie sheet. And this one I got from a thrift store. This one is actually the only one that I've ever damaged. And I don't even know how. I dropped it, and I've dropped a lot of these. But I dropped this one not long after I first got it. So I don't know how it was treated before I got it. But I did get this at the thrift store. It is damaged, but I still keep it. And I still use it. So this is a cookie sheet. And I bake cookies on any of the flat pans, including the pizza pans and even these other pans that I'm going to show you that are also kind of cookie sheets. But this is something that I use fairly often. I actually used to make Ricky's gluten-free pizza on this because number 1, the shape would differentiate it, and number 2, I usually made an extra amount of dough, and this size was perfect. So cookie sheet. And these look like cookie sheets that you would get in a store, but I think they're actually called large bar pans. And again, you can tell with the color difference which one I've had longer and which one's newer. I make everything on I just made salmon on one of these. And so I'll go from making salmon on it to making cookies on it. And as long as you take good care of it, it's not going to have any like smell from the salmon going to the cookies or anything. But I love these for baking. Again, my favorite reason is because nothing burns. Nothing burns. As long as it might dry out, but it's probably not going to blacken. Which my major problem that I had with metal bakeware when I used to make cookies and things on metal, or biscuits even on metal bakeware, is they would burn on the bottom. You don't have that problem with these. So mental note, I love stoneware. Look in your thrift stores. By the way, I'm pretty sure I got these at thrift stores too. I've bought almost none of my stoneware from actual Pampered Chef, but I would. I absolutely would, because I think it's worth it. If I couldn't find it at thrift stores, I'd be stacking up that way, but I always find it. I always find it because people don't know how to use it, but guys, learn it. Pampered Chef. I'm not even selling it right now. I'm not even selling it right now. I just genuinely love it. So let's talk about the metal pans that I have. Right here I have one of these pans. I'm sure there's a name for it. I'll probably put it on my blog. Before I put on the blog, I usually find the proper names for things. But this metal pan is one of those ones like for an angel food cake. And that's generally what this is used for, angel food cake. And you can tell because it's got these, because after you make the angel food cake, you actually are supposed to flip it over and it's supposed to hold up on this rim thing. And the air will circulate underneath it. And then later you can push out this bottom. And then you have your angel food cake. I haven't made one in a really long time, but I do love angel food cake, so I keep this pan. Okay, so I have these springform pans, and then there's 3 different sizes, and they nest in one another. And these are usually used for like cheesecakes. Again, I haven't made a cheesecake in a long time, obviously, been vegan. and cheesecakes can be pretty pricey to make, but I do have them, and I have made them, and they're good to have. You never know. So, and these are also good if you want to make like a wedding cake, like a nested wedding cake. Not that I've ever made one, but if I were inclined to make one day, you could. So, metal pans. Here are my metal flat pans. Now this one you've probably seen before because I wanted one of these for so long. And I did order this. I actually ordered this from Pampered Chef because I looked at thrift stores. I looked at Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Ross, and because I just thought this is kind of an odd pan that they might have at one of those stores, and I could never find. I found some mini donut ones, but I never found like full-size donut ones. So this is my donut pan. I love it. Who doesn't want donuts? So I love this. I did buy it new, but it was still very inexpensive. It was under $20, and I bought it because I wanted to make vegan donuts because they're hard to find. All right, so cupcake pans. I mean, you've got to have cupcake pans, right? So I have 2 6-cup cupcake pans, and then I have a large size, and I think the kids got this one for me for Christmas, and I probably got these at the thrift store. These smaller ones I've had forever. The Wilton pan the kids got me because I remember I was trying to make 24 at a time, and I had to keep making 12 at a time. So anyway, cupcake pans, everybody's got to have cupcake pans, right? You got to have those. Necessary. Because especially if you have kids, you're going to make cupcakes. You're going to make muffins. Cupcake pan. Roaster. Again, got to have the roaster. Thanksgiving is coming up, guys. If you don't have a roaster, get a roaster. How many years did I buy those aluminum foil ones that you throw away? And I know there's convenience. I probably would still buy one. Just so you don't have to clean it up. But it's good to have a roasting pan on hand so you can roast your own. You don't have to worry about anything. It holds everything up nicely. And this was very inexpensive. I got this at Burke's. And it was very inexpensive. In fact, I think we did a giveaway with it a few years ago. Gave someone else one for Thanksgiving. So, my beautiful roaster. Love it. You can get one inexpensively. And this is the last pan. It's a broiler pan. Now, this pan came with an oven that we bought probably when Rick and I were first together. Like, very, very first together. I've had this pan forever. And I'm going to tell you what I use it for. This pan I use for almost anything that you just want to toss in the oven and bake, like chicken nuggets, like tater tots, things that are really simple that you want to bake that's probably not going to stick to, that I'd have to worry about using my Pampered Chef pan. It's really easy to clean, so it's not a big deal. This I almost never use for any kind of cooking. What I normally use this for, it's going to sound silly, but it's part of Bakeware. I normally, when I freeze my vegetables, when I slice up celery or slice up onions or anything that I'm going to put in the freezer, sliced and put it in bags, I'll slice them and put them on this pan and put this pan in the freezer. So that's normally what I use this for. And I have a video on that too. I'll probably link it at the top. But I put it on this pan, put it in the freezer, freeze them, and then I'll take a baggie out, and then I have frozen vegetables. But I don't know. Do you guys know how to use this? I really do not know how to properly use this. So if you know, put it in the comments and tell me about it, because, it'd just be interesting to know. I know what you're thinking. She's not done yet? No. I told you I had a lot of bakeware. I warned you. So I do have some aluminum pie pans, and that's because it's holiday time, and we're going to be giving away some pies to people, so I have some pie pans to give away, and I will be lining them with parchment paper because I do not like using aluminum directly on my food, just so you know. But I do have some glass pie pans that I use a lot. I love pie, make pie, pot pie, sweet pie, all kinds of pie. I love pie. Everybody loves pie. So you gotta have pie pans. If you don't know how to make pie, my friend, learn. Pie is a gift from heaven. So I got 3 glass pie pans. And I don't have any Pampered Chef ones. The glass actually works really well for me. So that's one thing I don't do Pampered Chef. And I think I got all of those at thrift stores too. So you can get them. In fact, I got these other glass pans definitely at thrift stores. So this is a glass casserole dish. This is a blue one, and it's blue because I got it at the thrift store. And this is a clear glass casserole dish. And these I actually usually take these when I go to like church events if I have something that I've baked. Because number one, they're inexpensive and I don't care if I lose them. And number two, people always usually really like the blue pan for whatever reason. But the clear pan is just practical. I mean, you can use that for any kind of decor. Like I've planned several bridal showers and baby showers, and this is neutral enough to go with everything. So I actually planned a bridal shower one year for my good friend, and her theme was like Tuscany. And so we actually used a lot of the Pampered Chef pans for that because it was kind of a rustic sort of thing, and it worked out really well. So if you do any kind of entertaining, it's good to have a variety of pans to use just because of the fact that you might have to serve things out of them, and it's nice to have things that are pretty. So that's it. I finally gotten to the end of the bakeware. And so, you know, in terms of what you need to start a frugal pantry, you need 2 pie pans. You need 2 bread pans. You need at least 1 glass casserole dish. You do need a metal pan, like a broiler pan style or a cookie sheet. I think that's just practical to have. Almost everybody would need those. I don't think everybody needs springform pans or fluted pans. Those aren't things that everybody needs unless you're really into baking. A roasting pan would probably be helpful if you plan on ever doing any kind of chicken or turkey for like Thanksgiving or something. If you're going over your mom's house every year, don't worry about it. You need muffin pans. You need cupcake pans. You need these. Have 24 muffins. You'll use these. You need this to start. And I was looking around thinking, is that it? That's what I'd recommend you start with. But I will say this, if you're starting with that, as soon as you can afford it, get yourself some Pampered Chef Stoneware pans. Yeah, I guess you can get Stoneware pans elsewhere. I feel confident about Pampered Chefs. That's the ones that I can recommend. But get some Stoneware pans. Learn how to use them, learn how to clean them. I recommend those highly for baking, especially if you're a new baker, because it will give you so much encouragement to just keep moving forward because you won't be burning everything. So trust me, get some Stoneware. Keep your eye out when you're at thrift stores. So anyway, all right, that's it for this week for the Frugal Pantry. Next week, I'm going to be showing you my dishes, y'all. And I actually have a huge collection of dishes as well because I have an issue, okay? I have an issue that I like china. And here's what doesn't help that issue. It's really inexpensive at the thrift store. Like you can get things for like a nickel. I actually got rid of a lot recently. And I've actually gotten rid of a lot of this bakeware too, believe it or not. This is me having pared down. So there you go. Come back next week. We'll just talk about dishes. And this is such an important thing too, because, you know, we have a lot of kids that are our kids' age that are getting married or starting off on their own. And these are basic things that they need to know in order to start a household. And sometimes people tell them, you know, oh, you need this many dishes or you need these kind of dishes. And they really don't know what they actually need to get started with. So if you're going to give them something, or if you're getting started yourself, then that'll be a really helpful video for you, hopefully. So anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.